two or three preliminary remarks let me make. First of all, not a single soul from Planned Parenthood has contacted me. I don't even know anybody with Planned Parenthood, and so I'm a little bit disappointed that the red herring has been being thrown up here that this is a Planned Parenthood bill.
Curriculum.
The reason that I introduced this bill, along with Ms. Horn, is because I have observed over time the impact that teen pregnancy has on women. Any of you that are cognizant of what's going on in the real world know that whenever a teenager gets pregnant, there are two possibilities. One is abortion, the other is a live birth. If we want to decrease abortions, one thing we ought to do is to try to decrease teen pregnancy, because it would have that impact. We also know that sexually transmitted diseases are one of the impacts. Those sexually transmitted diseases are not free. They typically cost the government, because more often than not, the medical treatment for STDs is borne by government. Often, teen pregnancies result in high school dropouts. A long time ago, I heard the concept in education of premature identity foreclosure, and I didn't know what that meant. And I asked somebody, they said, well, if you start telling a student that they're stupid, that they can't perform, they begin to believe they're stupid and can't perform. What I think the absence of sufficient information does for teenagers is it forecloses the opportunities that they have and slams the door on what they could become if they did not get pregnant. Higher medical costs. Sometimes teens who have babies who have babies. Before I came down here, I was chairman of the board of Helping Hands of Clemson, a home for neglected and abused kids. Some of the neglected and abused kids coming in 4, 5, and 6 years old were from a family that started with a teenage mother. We need to do everything we possibly can to prevent teen pregnancy so that we do not foreclose the future on these individuals. This is all about teenage women. That's what it's about. And we need to do everything we can to avoid pregnancies. One thing that hasn't been mentioned about requiring people to take off, there's an opt-out provision in it. Parents do not have to have their kids sit through this. You know, my first sex education class, I was 19 years old taking a military science class at Clemson. And you know what I saw that was a rude awakening to me? I saw photographs of some of the impact of syphilis and gonorrhea on a man's private parts. It was not entertaining at all, but it made me think. This bill, I believe, will lessen the impact of pregnancy by providing information so teenagers can make responsible decisions. It would require it to be medically accurate. It would require accountability. But more importantly, it would require qualified instructors. Now, I love football coaches, but most of them have never had a class in biology, and most of them might not even be able to teach the course, but frequently they're the ones that are chosen to teach the course. We all know that to avoid poverty, you need to graduate from high school. You need to not get married till you're about 20 years old. And you don't have children until you do get married. Otherwise, you foreclose some of the opportunities that are available to you. Not everybody, many people.
I think you need to have a job too, Mr. Skelton.
Well, and guess what? Education is what makes it possible to have a job.
It is now 9:59. Representative Skelton, if you could just take maybe 30 seconds to wrap up your comments, I appreciate it.
The estimate of the cost of teen pregnancy in South Carolina is about $200 billion. if we want to reduce teen pregnancy and the impact that it has, well, let me put it another way. If you're satisfied with the level of teen pregnancy, if you're satisfied with the level of abortion, if you're satisfied with the level of sexually transmitted diseases and high school dropouts that are caused by pregnancy, if you're satisfied with the governmental dependence and the sometimes intergenerational interdependence that's created, if you're satisfied with the higher medical costs, then vote against this bill. But if those things concern you, let's do something about it. Thank you.
Representative Taylor.